Hi, this is Mark News from Plant Talk Radio. Thanks for subscribing and listening to our podcast, Your Gardening Questions from Plant Talk Radio. If you have a gardening question you'd like our host Fred Howard to answer, send him an email. The email address is fred@planttalkradio.com. Now for today's question. Well, we just had another caller that didn't really want to be on the air, but just wanted to mention that she knows where there's sort of a row of about 12 linden trees that are very beautiful, but they're not quite in bloom yet. So, still waiting on some of the bloom on the lindens.
Yeah, the cultivars will come on at different times, and a row of 12 will be something to see. Now, if you're allergic to bees, you might want to go down the other side of the street. But usually, when bees are busy, what I'll call harvesting, they're not going to bother a person unless you get in there and start swatting around or try to climb the tree. Not a problem. But at the same time, I'm glad to hear that because they can be beautiful. They have an enemy. It depends on which cultivar, but an enemy that is kind of nasty is the Japanese beetle. But they can be sprayed for. And then again, I've seen lindens which got into a beetle problem certain years that have been, I'll call it defoliated, and the beetles usually eat around the vascular tissue. But the plant looks like a lace leaf tree when you get to that point. And I've seen it happen on trees that were healthy in the first place, and it didn't seem to make a bit of difference about them coming through the winter and going on into the following year. So I'm pleased that somebody reported that. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you mentioned that about, the leaves being lacy and everything, because you also wanted to talk a little bit this week about the maple leaf gall, which is very common.
Indeed. Maple leaf gall is a considerably different creature, but I've had a couple of inquiries, other than on air, that are, what is that red dot thing on the leaves of my tree? Well, first of all, is it a maple? Yeah, it's a maple. How did you know? I said, well, because that dot is a leaf gall that is quite common, some years at least, on the maple trees. And the essence of mentioning it is, if you have one, if it has or has ever had that leaf gall problem, the chances are good that spraying won't do any good. The chances are excellent that the tree won't really even cringe because of that much damage on the leaves. I would say just know that it comes and goes. Accept it the years that it's there and don't worry about it. But it's the time of year where that is apt to be showing up. They're a brilliant Ohio State red, if you will, or scarlet, and then they turn black. I don't know whose team that is, but at the same time, not a big deal on a healthy maple tree.
I know I almost had a heart attack the first time I had it because I had this big, beautiful tree in my front yard, and it's just covered with these red bumps. All the leaves are covered. And you told me, Mark, just calm down.
Calm down.
It's not going to hurt your tree. And then I would get it, and it's almost like clockwork. Like every 3 years it would come on. But I guess the little critters, have their... What do they? They sort of sting the leaves?
Yes. It's actually the female ovipositor, injects her ovipositor into the surface of the leaf, pretty nearly right into the middle, if not through it, then lays an egg. And that egg hatches, and the secretions from the ovipositor and the egg, or either one, can cause this erratic growth of the cell tissue. I don't even know how to describe the darn thing. They're irregular.
Don't get too graphic because it's a family show.
Well, the point is they're like snowflakes. I don't think there's any two alike.
Yeah.
They'll stick out of the leaf on top and bottom by a 1/16 of an inch, maybe sometimes a little bit longer than that. And they're a bright red show for a while, then a black show. And I just wanted to mention that people needn't panic about that.
Hey, thanks again for listening to our podcast. Be sure to subscribe to our other podcasts as well, the Plant of the Week podcast and the Plant Talk Radio podcast, all on iTunes or your favorite podcast player. If you'd like to sponsor a daily podcast, contact us at fred@planttalkradio.com. To find out more about Fred Howard and Plant Talk Radio, visit our website, planttalkradio.com.
This is Michelle Wilson, host of the Business Inspires podcast from the Tri-Village Chamber Partnership. To run a successful business, you need resources, valuable connections, and community recognition. In each episode of the Business Inspires podcast, we talk with small business community leaders who will inspire you to create the business you are envisioning. The Business Inspires podcast is on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, YouTube, your Alexa device, and your favorite podcast player.
Circle270media.com